Hello and welcome to Ask Boria. Again, a huge number of questions which humbles me. I mean, absolutely makes it very, very important that people who like the platform, like to ask sensible questions, come and ask your questions. And again, hundreds and hundreds of questions have come. And it is an ordeal for Trisha to actually cull out the questions and sort of prepare the number that we can possibly take. And we have tried to take as many as possible over the last few weeks. This is a program that is now a pattern with us, and we will try to continue unless there is a match situation on. For example, next week, if the WTC is on, then it might be different, but otherwise we will definitely continue with this show. The first one is from Aman. Now, Aman is interesting. Aman has been asking questions practically every week. Unfortunately, we have not been able to take Aman's question. So what Aman did was, Aman traced Trisha out on Instagram, on social media, Twitter, Facebook, reached out to her and sent the question. And by the way, the question is a very good one. And that is why my first one is, I will answer Aman's question. Aman, this is the kind of fandom we want. I mean, committed, passionate fans who love our sport. And that is why the sport is what it is. I just want to start with two things. Yesterday, the way the world came together, the whole world, not the sporting world, the whole world came together for Christian Eriksen. And by the way, Christian Eriksen has sent his wishes for his team. He's stable. The way the world came together between, say, 10 o'clock, rather slightly later, 11 o'clock, and till the time from the time that incident happened to the start of the game, first suspension, then the restart and all. If you see social media, you will know there is something good about this world. There is still something good about this world. Make no mistake. I mean, the whole world was praying for Christian Eriksen. No nationality. Across the world, irrespective of nationality, people were praying for Eriksen and his family, and prayers worked. So there is certainly something good about this world. Today morning, I woke up and I see a Mithali Raj tweet about this young kid, this girl, 6 years old. Fascinating. I mean, what talent. And Mithali saying, I will back the young rock star to the hilt. So again, made me feel outstanding about it. And I tweeted in the morning, these are things that make your day. These are things that make you feel very good about sport. So let's take the first question from Aman. Aman says, most international runs in winning cause among active players, Virat 14,827, Rohit 10,585. Among all active cricketers, only Virat and Rohit have 10,000 plus runs in winning cause. Most international hundreds in winning cause among active cricketers, Virat 48, Rohit 32, David Warner 30, Joe Root, Steve Smith 27. So why is Rohit Sharma not in the Fab Four? Has he played some of the best cricket in the last decade? He's a legend. Who says Rohit Sharma is not part of the Fab Four? Test match cricket, maybe not. If anyone is talking about white ball cricket, and if Rohit Sharma is not included in the top bracket, then it's a mistake. 500s in a World Cup, for God's sake, doesn't come from anywhere. Only comes if you are one of the greatest of the contemporary era. 500s. People do not even get 500s in World Cups combined across their career. This guy got 500s in one World Cup. Who says Rohit Sharma is not a legend? He's an absolute legend of the game. Yes, you can talk about test match cricket, but there also he has played some important innings since he started opening the batting for India. And one would want, with this level of talent, for Rohit to step up and do it in the WTC final and do it in the England series to follow. Because there's no question that Rohit Sharma has the talent. So Aman, I can understand where you're coming from, but as far as I'm concerned, Rohit Sharma for me is an absolute legend of the game. Absolute legend of the game in white ball cricket. Red ball, one knows Rohit has the potential. Can he convert? Can he be consistent and do the job for India? I believe he can. And one would wait very closely to see what he does in the next 3 months. Cricket chasm. Who should be the keeper for Team India in the Sri Lanka tour, Ishan Kishan or Sanju Samson? Good question. Ishan Kishan, both of them have had opportunities for India. But if you see the last time round, Ishan Kishan made the team ahead of Sanju Samson after Sanju got dropped. So one would hope that Ishan will start, because Ishan was brought into the team And one would think Ishan will start and Sanju will then get an opportunity. I would want both to get opportunities, by the way, because this level of depth in Indian cricket has not been seen in the past, and that is what makes me so hopeful about this game in our country. I would want to see both. Both have enormous potential and talent, and under Rahul, you can be sure that both will get a fair deal and opportunities. Maybe Ishan to start just because he was part of the team in that England series ahead of Sanju. So after that, obviously, Sanju will also get his opportunity, or should, because as I said, I think both should get opportunities. Himanshu. Boria sir, I think the only department New Zealand is ahead of India is their slip catching can be a huge factor. Himanshu, if you see the way New Zealand bundled out England just about some time back, 122 all out, boy oh boy, this is some team. I mean, England in England is a formidable opponent to beat. Without a Tim Saudi, without a Kylie Jamieson bundling them out, Matt Henry, Trent Bolt, Ajaz Patel, and Neil Wagner. I mean, if they go four, I will not be surprised. If they go all four, but this is a fantastic team. They are punching above their weight for a good many years in international cricket. They lost the World Cup by sheer quirk of fate. So this is an incredibly good team under Kane Williamson. So make no mistake, they're right up there. In fact, they might just be, people will say, have their nose ahead. Michael Vaughan has just tweeted that New Zealand, he fancies them to beat India, but Michael Vaughan. He said 4-0 in favor of Australia after the Adelaide mauling, and we know what happened. So having said that, New Zealand is a quality cricket team, very good cricket team. And the tail, the late order batting, the important runs from Jamieson, Wagner, Saudi can become very, very important. India's number 10-11, Shami, Bumrah, and Ishant can be 9-10 Jack, but the late order batting from New Zealand can become very handy. So it's going to be a cracker of a contest. Mano Jan. In recent times, left-handers Jaddu, Rishabh, Washi, Rory Burns, Conway are far more successful than great players. Is it possible to accommodate Washi and Rishabh in the top 5? Push Jinx to number 6. No. If anyone thinks that Washi can play as a batter, at least in the WTC final, ahead of who? Washi played very well in Australia, was handy enough, but Rohit Shubman, Cheteshwar, Rahane, ahead of Rahane, Washi? No. Number 6 Pant, number 7 Jaddu. And Jaddu getting dropped? For what? I mean, he will bring that extra fielding, that bowling. Watch that Warner interview, you will know what Jaddu is all about. And of course, as a batter and as a left-hand batter, he's now as good as anybody, Ravindra Jadeja. So Rishabh Pant 6 and Ravindra Jadeja number 7. So I don't think that's happening. Shaileshwar, initial thoughts on Devin Conway as a test batsman. Who do you think can trouble him the most among the Indian bowlers? See, he looked very good. Most importantly, the temperament that he showed was fantastic, Shaileshwar. Very, very impressive. I mean, and he's not a rookie in that sense. He's been doing well in international cricket, in white ball cricket for New Zealand for a while. In the domestic circuit, he did very well. And thereafter, he has started excellently in the red ball format and consistently so. So he's definitely not one that India would take lightly. But then again, I mean, our bowling attack is as good as anyone. I mean, even a Ravi Ashwin coming with that angle, bowling that, and Ravi Ashwin is class, all class, against, the top 5, 6 with 3 left-handers there. He will be a handful, even on day one. Think of Steve Smith. Think of the Australian batters. Ravi Ashwin will be a real handful, according to me. But other than Ashwin, with that angle, if Ishan plays, he'll move it away. Mohammad Shami can shape it. Jasprit Bumrah can just get an edge anytime. So make no mistake, the Indian bowling lineup has the ability to pick out or snap out Devin Conway. I'm not trying to say that, as I said, New Zealand is a very good cricket team. But this Indian side has the ability and the potential to beat anyone. Anyone. So I'm waiting for the WTC final. My call is first test, India has not done well for a couple of years now. So this is the only test. It's a one-off. India will have to come all guns blazing from ball one, every session. That is something Ravi and Virat needs to sort of put into the mind of the boys, that there's no comeback in this particular test match. Netflix and chill. What impact will Sri Lankan tour have on Indian youngsters under Dravid's guidance? Huge impact. I mean, yeah, Rahul Dravid is one of the greatest to have played this game. One of the best coaches you've seen with the under-19 side. Shubman, Prithvi, these people have been mentored by him. He will give everyone opportunities. They can go up to him at any point in time for technical guidance. So as characters, as human beings, and as players, each of these guys who are going to Sri Lanka will benefit from having Rahul Dravid around them. Anuj, in future, should ICC allow international teams to play with two teams at the same time, like India touring England and Sri Lanka, allow more opportunities to all those young players who are aiming to play in their country? Bilateral series is not so much the ICC is doing. Even the boards can schedule stuff. I mean, like the Sri Lanka tour, the Indian and Sri Lankan boards can do it. But to say two teams at the same time will dilute it. I mean, I still think international cricket, test match, for example, will you want the second Indian team to play a test match? I wouldn't want it. I don't think the second Indian team can play a test match because you have to respect the format. You have to respect your sport. And in test match cricket, there should be the one team that plays test match cricket for a particular country. If you don't do that, I think it's a bit, then perhaps it's slightly disrespectful of the sport. Dhruv Garg, do you think opening with Rohit and Kohli at the T20 can be the best bet for India, with middle order filled with youngsters like Sky, Ishan, Iyer, Samson and Pant? Absolutely a good call. I mean, we have seen that opening combination once. We know how good they can be. Both of them open for their respective franchises in the IPL. Both are veterans. We have always heard this from people like legends like Sunil Gavaskar, that the two best batters should be given the maximum number of balls. So why not? But you've also got a KL Rahul who's had extraordinarily good success at the top of the order in white ball cricket. So you've got to keep that in mind. So India will sort of, have all options open, and that's how they will go about it. But this is certainly an option, Dhruv Garg, something that we will look to use and exploit. Anurag, do you think Mayank should be preferred as against Gill in the WTC final, considering that he has an experience of playing the Kiwi Pacers in New Zealand last year? No. Devin Conway should not have played, did not have experience. What did he do? Got a double hundred? No. But whoever is in better form, obviously you've simulated game condition there. Shubman's performance against Australia in Australia is indication enough who will play. I do not think Shubman should be overlooked. He's looked compact in that Australia series against quality attacks. There's no debate. And he's an extraordinarily good talent, so no. This Antarjita 45. Who will be India's key player in the WTC final? What will be the best 11? The key player, quite a few. Southampton, sun comes out. Third day 4, Ravi Ashwin, even Ravindra Jadeja, footmarks. They can run through. Batting the first innings, if India gets a big score, then half the job will have been done. Virat Kohli, very important. Good start. Blunting out the new ball, middle order comes into play, very important. For me, the X factor can absolutely be Rishabh Pant, because he bats an hour and a half. It will be 70-80 and the attack will be taken to the New Zealanders. He will come hard. And if he is out there for an hour and a half, it will be very different. He is the Adam Gilchrist prototype, and he's as good as anybody, and he's in that form of his life. So you can absolutely expect something magical from Rishabh Pant. Best 11, I've said it multiple times. According to me, the 11 is that one call. Ishant or Siraj. The rest of the 11 picks themselves. Rohit and Shubman, Cheteshwar, Virat, Ajinkya, Rishabh, Ashwin, Jaddu, Bumrah, Shami, and then the last spot, Ishant or Siraj. Can be anybody. Both are very, very good. Watch out for a special tomorrow, a big exclusive tomorrow from one of the greatest of our game. And this question has been asked. So watch out for that tomorrow on Sports Today. RCBL. Do you think Natarajan must be the third pacer in T20 World Cup as left-hand pacer, or Shami be the third pacer, because the experience of Shardul Thakur wicket-taking capability too far away? Think of fitness. Think of what happens in the IPL. See how players hold up after England. See what happens in the Sri Lanka tour. We've seen Nattu do exceedingly well in Australia. So no one is looking past Nattu at all. But you've got to believe the WTC is still, I mean, the World T20 is a way distance away. So you've got to wait. It is too early to say, oh, you know what, 1, 2, 3. You cannot do it like that. You've got to have a crop. You've got to give people opportunities. You've got to see who's on form, who's bowling the best, who is bowling in, and ultimately Shardul Thakur, because of his ability to pick wickets, obviously is in the reckoning, because that's what you need. You need a bowler to give you important breakthroughs. Natarajan has picked wickets in Australia. But the answer to that is, at this point in time, it's 5 months still to go. June, July, August, September, October. 5 months still to go. It's premature. Navadip Shetty. Rahul Dravid has said that he ensures everyone in a tour game plays at least. Do you think same will happen? Yes, but when you have so many players, it will be a challenge for even Rahul to give everybody game time. I mean, that is something that I am very keen on. I mean, how does Rahul accommodate everybody in Sri Lanka? And how does he give everyone a game? That's going to be a real challenge even for Dravid. I would absolutely want him to do that. And it always helps if everybody is given game time, because everyone has made the Indian team to go out there and play and not warm the benches, right? So if Rahul is able to do that, but it will be a tough ask. Anmol Kakkar. This time in shooting, we have immense youth power, which have done really well in the previous competitions. The likes of Saurabh Chaudhary, Manu Bhakar can bring glory to India in Olympics. How many medals are you expecting from the shooting contingent, and from whom? You are very right, Anmol Kakkar, about the potential and the talent in the shooting team. The 15 people who have qualified, all of the 15 on their day have the ability and the potential to win medals. I am expecting at least 4 to 5 medals from shooting, including a gold. I am expecting in the mixed events for India to win a gold also. So Saurabh, Manu, or even in the rifle. I am definitely expecting 4 to 5 medals. Very difficult to pick who will win a medal, because as I said, everyone has talent. But you've got to believe a Divyansh, an Abhishek, a Manu, a Saurabh, each of these, an Anjum, a Rahi, each of these players, each of our shooters, Ella Vanil, a youngster with tremendous talent, each of them on their day can win an Olympic medal. And as I said, I will not be surprised if we win more than 5 in shooting, because they are all very, very good. But Olympics is about performance on that particular day, so we've got to wait and see. My friend Johns, do you think Sanju Samson, Ishan Kishan should be given all 3 T20 matches to decide who should be the backup option to Pant? Good question, very good question. You also need to try them as wicket keepers. Frankly, you see Sanju Samson and Ishan Kishan are as good as any to make this Indian team. So why not? Why not simply because of talent? Not simply as backup to get them ready, but if you just see fairness, do they deserve a spot? Yes, Johns, they do. They are that good. But you should also give both an opportunity to keep wickets for the backup point that you mentioned, that who's your second keeper. That can then be decided. So yes to the question. And we would also want to see who keeps in both these games, or rather in all these games, and more, because you've got to give them more opportunities to get the best out of them. Both have done well, both, and decent keepers. So who's number 2? So it also means that Rahul Dravid, KL Rahul as a keeper, that option is no longer going to be exercised by India. That's something you need to keep in mind, something we've done in white ball cricket. Rahul Dravid will have to take this call. And again, no one better than Rahul to sort of get both ready. And that's the good about Indian cricket, the beauty that you have the crop of fast bowlers, crop of batsmen, crop of wicket keepers to choose from. Cricket crazy alone. Why have India opted for Krishnappa Gautam ahead of players Rahul Tewatia, Deepak Hooda? Look, this is one thing that, I think is a tad unfair. Krishnappa Gautam has done enough in several years to merit a spot. He can hit the ball long and hard. He's a quality off spinner. He's had good domestic seasons. He's been in and around, the international cricket, the bigger sort of macro circle, if you want to say so. He's been knocking the doors. So to just say this question implies that Krishnappa Gautam is an unworthy selection. I don't believe that. Rahul Tewatia, yes. I also want to place the name of Jalaj Saxena. Jalaj Saxena, according to me, deserved a spot. But at the same time, no one should grudge Krishnappa Gautam his spot in the Indian team. Cricket crazy Aditya. How many cricket crazies, boss? Actually, many are in this country. Should CSK go for someone like Labuschagne if Moeen Ali isn't available? Will Labuschagne be available? Because Cricket Australia will have to allow their players to come. Only then Manas Labuschagne will be available. And if you see, when he went back to the Big Bash, he was extraordinarily impactful, wasn't he? 3 wickets, 2 wickets. Obviously, with the bat, we know how good Manas Labuschagne is. So definitely a good option, but will Cricket Australia allow someone like a Manas Labuschagne to travel? If they do, then certainly you have a valid point there that Chennai Super Kings can look at Manas Labuschagne. Aryan Kumar, do you think it was a bit harsh to drop Kuldeep Yadav in the T20s considering he has performed exceptionally well? You know, you've got to see how a bowler is bowling. Kuldeep, unfortunately for him and India, looked a little off color. And you've seen that in Test cricket, in international cricket, sorry. You've seen that with the IPL in the limited opportunities that Kuldeep had. Somehow, somewhere, the confidence seems to have been dented. And that is why he has been left out. You know, it happens with every player. It happens with every player that you have a bit of a bad patch. And that's when you are able to come back in international cricket and make a difference. That's when it is proved that how good you are. The commitment, the passion, the depth, the mental strength, the fortitude. And I have every reason to believe that Kuldeep Yadav will come back because he's good. He's very, very impressive. And now he's developed a new ball is what I've been told. So I'm actually waiting for Kuldeep to bowl. But was it a harsh call? Maybe not, because he will himself agree he was not bowling at his best. There's a second question for you, Aryan Kumar. Trisha has given me 2 questions by you. Okay. Should the BCCI allow the non-contracted players or the ones who are not in the selector scheme, Raina, Bhaji, to play foreign leagues? Good question. Good question. Yuvraj decided to do, but then the whole retirement thing happened. Bhaji, Raina, Raidu, I mean, if you are not in the contracted list, you're a free bird. I don't think, if you are not in the contracted list, I don't think the BCCI can stop you from playing any international tournament or any league. Good call to allow the girls to play the 100. Very good call because it will improve the standard. Good call to play, allow them to play the Big Bash, the WBBL when they have an opportunity. So non-contracted male players, I don't see how the BCCI can stop them from plying their trade and earning money because this is a free market and everyone has the opportunity to go and play. Onkur Shengupto. Do you think it was a little unfair to Unadkat for not getting selected into the SL squad? He had a decent domestic season. Yes, I agree. Jaidev had a very good domestic season. Again, something that Doda Ganesh keeps talking about, has been in and around the domestic scene for a long time, has performed very well, has become a mature bowler over the years. Jaidev Unadkat has been impressive in every opportunity, has been sort of impressive in the IPL also. You would want players to be given a fair deal and an opportunity, but you can only select a certain number. And again, I mean, the players who have been picked, I do not see any unworthy player who has been picked out. That is the problem of Indian cricket, isn't it? The glut of talent, the good and the bad. I mean, the bad is some worthy people have to be left out because the talent pool has become enormous. On the other hand, the good is if you have that level of a talent pool, there's no question that your national team, even the second team, will be as good. And that is the benefit that Indian cricket will reap in the years going forward. One question, let me say, a lot of people were asking on social media that when will the domestic players be paid? What about compensation? See, I feel very strongly about it. I think they must be paid. I think there has to be compensation worked out. Every time I've asked, from what I know, in the next Apex Council meeting, this will be raised. In the last BCCI SGM, it was raised. It was told it will be raised in an appropriate forum. In the Apex Council meeting in the first week of July, I am told that this will be raised or is supposed to be raised. So I will watch very keenly what happens, because this is something I absolutely want done, because livelihoods are at stake. And I would want the BCCI to take care of the cricketing ecosystem. And again, I say this, male and female, irrespective of gender. Nitin Rawat. IWF confirms Mirabai Chanu's qualification, one of the brightest medal prospects. Young weightlifter Jeremy Lalrinrunga is still expected to qualify. Any news? No, I don't think, except Mira, at this point, we can expect anyone else. Jeremy will maybe make it to Paris, and an absolute delight. If you see his career, Youth Olympics and all of it, is a tremendous bundle of talent, Jeremy. But this Olympic Games, I do see only Mira, and Mira is fantastic. I mean, Mirabai Chanu is an incredibly good athlete. And what a talent. If you see the last competition in the snatch, if you see I mean, a world record holder, for God's sake. I mean, if you do not say she's a good talent, then who is? One would expect Mirabai Chanu to do very, very well in Tokyo. The good part about this Indian contingent is the number of disciplines where we have medal opportunities: shooting, boxing, wrestling, weightlifting, athletics with Neeraj Chopra, badminton. The number of disciplines where India has medal prospects going into Tokyo is what gives me hope about Indian sport. And on this note, I also want to say I welcome the move by Kiran Rijiju, where he says that he will not allow people from the ministry to go, rather using the ministerial quota, maximum number of coaches and support staff possible will travel with the athletes to Tokyo. This is the first in Indian sport, and the ministry has to be commended for a job well done. That's what you want to see from the ministry. So Minister Rijiju, that is a great job done. Fantastic work to say that, more support staff, more coaches will be entitled to travel rather than bureaucrats or people from the ministry. Really good work. I'll finish off here. Just before I close, quite tired actually. It's sort of quite tiring to take so many questions, but one has to say New Zealand has sounded the bugle. What an emphatic win. First ball, Trent Bolt gets Ollie Stone. What an emphatic win for New Zealand. They, without a Kylie Jamieson, without a Tim Southee, to be able to do this. Wow, man. What a team Kane Williamson has created. Can't wait for the finals to begin. Will they go in with 4? Maybe they will, because a Jamieson, a Southee, a Bolt, and a Wagner are a fantastic attack, and all of them can be handy with the bat. Jamieson, a genuine all-rounder. The rest of them can score late order runs, which can prove valuable, very, very valuable for the New Zealand total. What a contest it will be. And number 2, thank God for what happened last night, eventually, in terms of CPR working. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation worked for Christian Eriksen, and all of us could breathe a sigh of relief. God is kind. There is something good about this world, and that was evident last night with Christian Eriksen. If you see last night, we were instantly on Sports Today trying to give you updates from around the world, from the Danish FA, from UEFA, from everywhere, and go see the number of people who tuned in. It was a pleasure to bring you all the updates. Rajarshi will be back again tonight, 8 p.m. with all of the Euro updates, cracker of a contest, England versus Croatia, and then that cracker of a contest in Roland Garros with Novak and Stefanos Tsitsipas. So tremendous amount of sport in the world. Watch everything, because that's something that is good about our society. Tomorrow, I promise you a very, very good and special exclusive coming your way on Sports Today. Keep watching the platform, keep supporting us, and we will keep giving you every possible news that there is from the world of sport. Thank you very much for watching.